What if I told you the United States and China are actually very similar? Yeah, I know. Different systems, different cultures, even at the opposite side of the planet. But politically, they are more alike than you think. 1. Both are giant countries with strong central control. Big land, big population, strong central government that can move resources for big projects. And Europe is the opposite. Many small countries and weak central coordination. 2. Both run a professional bureaucracies, big civil service, technical expertise, and result-oriented. 3. Both have a federal style of structure on the outside, federal states in the US, center-province structure in China. After the Soviet Union fell in 1991, the world entered Pax Americana, the United States as the only superpower, and China used to run a similar one-poor order in Asia for 500 years before Europeans built their global empire. Recently, the famous investor Ray Dalio wrote about a tribute system, the China's old original order. He thinks that Asia is heading something like that. It's quite an interesting argument, so I'd like to dig up a little bit. And what will happen if Dalio's prediction is correct? Based on my own work experience, let me share my opinions about Southeast Asia. In major ASEAN countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam, China has been building huge infrastructures, and Chinese private companies are investing heavily on local industries. China and ASEAN are now each other's biggest trading partners. So, if the tribute system comes back, ASEAN absolutely sits in the inner circle. China and Southeast Asia will trade material benefits for political recognition. No bow down and no royal titles. We're already in the 21st century, but there will still be legitimacy exchange. Chinese investors follow local rules, invest locally, hire locally, instead of using political or military pressure. Locals working with Chinese firms will pick up real skills and see living standards rise. The local ruling class that delivers this will gain legitimacy. Some say this creates debt traps, but Chinese investment has been on the ground for 10 years, long enough to judge. Are these countries doing better or worse? Anyone who's lived there can see. There are absolutely bad actors, like smugglers, fake customs papers, selling below cost. But those are not from state policy. Most Chinese people also hate it. Some of those merchants' old profit came from tax evasion and fake accounting in China. And currently, China's anti-corruption campaign killed their business. Now those operators couldn't survive in China, now moved to Southeast Asia, causing local chaos. China and ASEAN countries are working together to deal with them. Now, back to the main question. What is the tribute system? The main scholarship that I'm referring today comes from 4 different countries, led by American scholar John King Fairbank, who is the first academic to study this seriously. First, who is involved? In China, the family structures extend to the whole world. Close kings, regular contacts, and distant relatives. Same logic nationally. Beyond the Middle Empire, China, there are 3 zones. The Scenic Zone, which include Vietnam, Korea, and Ryukyu. Then the Inner Asia Zone, which are Mongols, Manchus, Tibetans. And then there's Outer Zone, includes Japan and Europe. And then second, what each side wanted. For China, legitimacy. Imperial investitures by foreign kings was proof the Son of Heaven's mandate was real. So China, generous giving, modest receiving. The gifts far exceeded the tribute value because economic cost was the price of political recognition for China. For the scenic zone, they need goods and recognition. The rich imperial gifts from China, plus the legit kinship. For the inner Asia zone, trade and security. Herders and farmers were natural complements, and China used barbarians to control barbarians strategy to avoid military confrontation. At last, for the outer zone, trade only, no recognition. They refused China-centered identity framework. So, Japan dropped out early, and Europe replaced the system with its own treaty system after the Opium War. And stacking it, the tribute system was a win-win deal with different terms for each layers. Then, the third. What kind of deal is it? Three scholars refine Fairbank. Kang from Korea says, the system held for 470 years because China made a commitment not to exploit. The central restraint was the key. Hamashita from Japan says, the system was a silver circulation network, not a ceremony. China paid with money and periphery paid with recognition. Li Yunquan from China says, bridge liability varied, strong for close tributaries like Korea and Vietnam, and weak for distant ones like Siam, Burma. Put everything together, the tribute system was a tiered contract, tight for the inner zone and loose for the outer. The same lens works for today's Pax Americana. Pax Americana also has different layers. Layer 1, the United States, the only superpower, designs all the rules and security and economy framework, can change the deals, sanctions, or go to war unilaterally. Layer 2, the US core allies, NATO, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Canada, Nordics. They join the US security umbrella on purpose, share tech and financial rewards, and follow US strategies. Layer 3, the rising economies, China, ASEAN, India, Brazil. Open markets, take low-end manufacturing, follow US trade rules, and get growth in return. But they cannot write the rules and face tech blocks. Layer 4, marginal weak countries like Middle East, Africa, small Latin American states. They depend on dollar loans, dollar trade, and Western aid. Layer 5, revisionist states like Russia, Iran, and North Korea. They reject US unilateral rules and get sanctions for years. And the states treat each layer differently, just like the tribute system did. That's what I want to share today. Subscribe if you enjoy this.